The objective of the following presentation is to add another router, another DNS server, for the purpose of providing redundancy in domain name resolution in our private network. There is always, when you set up a particular service, there is always a question of what happens if the service stops. So we'll learn how to install another DNS server and how to create a secondary DNS zone or read-only DNS zone, which will replicate from the first one. And what we'll understand is the meaning of alternate DNS server in the TCP/IP settings of all computers on the network. So for the purpose, we have to add another router first. Set up the two network cards of the router, install LAN routing, and after that configure server 2 with static IP address, installing DNS, and configuring for replication with server 1. So right away, router 2.3, two network cards. And why do I have only one? All right, so I have only one. I don't have a choice. I have to shut down and add another one. This is very similar to what we had with VirtualBox. I cannot add another one on the fly. Going to setting, add hardware, network cards, and connect it to LAN 2. So that's what I have here. Network adapter LAN 3, network adapter LAN 2. All right, so finally, two network adapters, but which is which? Which one is connected to LAN 2, and which one is connected to LAN 3? Again, according to the diagram, we're talking about this router. Which one is connected to LAN 2 and which one is connected to LAN 3? That's the question. And as we already established, you just go to File, Settings, check adapter, the adapter that's connected to LAN 2, for example. If we expand and go to Advanced Features, we see that this adapter should end with the MAC address should end with EB0F, I guess. EB0C is not this one, it is that one. EB0F. So what I can do from here is from my LAN area 2, I'll just rename it to LAN 2. And the other one will be LAN 3. Now, according to the diagram, you disregard here is to with following the older settings. Following the older settings, we'll use a network 17 and 18, 17 on this side, and again I'll put 255, 253, the last available and the one before last available, following the pattern from the previous setups. So, LAN 2, and this is my DNS server as well. So these settings should connect the router to the internet and to all resources on the right side of the router. And the other one, this will be the default gateway for LAN. The default gateway for LAN 3. All right, as usual, we maintain private networking within. Click, click. Private network in our local area network. Well, typically, if you disable the firewall, it doesn't matter, but private network is less secure profile than public. All right, so the router is configured. What I have to do is install routing. Again, adding a routing and remote access. And again, we can configure it from here. Just to point, these routers are LAN routers. You don't install NAT there. All right, a few people made a mistake. So right-click, configure, next. If you configure by the shortcuts, typically what I have to do is to choose secure connection between two private networks. But if you're confused here, custom configuration is a little bit more clear because you have LAN routing. That's all. Going next, finish, and start the service. That's all. All right, now this is okay, but now that we have another router, we have the same problem like before. If you try connecting from here, all right, and let's see, we'll test it simply because this routing is already configured. Now I'm going to go to my server number 2, and server number 2 has to be configured for IPv4 connectivity. Again, we'll use number 11, so this will be 172.18.0.11 for our second DNS server. And of course, we will point to the only DNS server in our private network. All right, now the server will not connect to the internet. Will connect to somewhere. You have two choices from here. You can simply trace route from here to an external resource or from here to the NAT router. Let's see if I trace from here to external resource. And that's it. The process kind of stops here. Request timeout, request timeout. Basically, I'm not pinging beyond So this server is not pinging me on the router. Control C stops the process. Again, ipconfig. This pings the default gateway. If it doesn't ping, then what we know is that we install brand new servers. We have to play with the firewalls, right? That's what we have to do. So first, the server control panel. So enabling file and printer sharing ICMP IPv4. This is the server. And I'll do the same thing for the router. Again, in many cases, you'll see people disabling the firewalls, and for testing purposes, that's what you do. But at the end, you have to enable, and you have to also configure the necessary rules. This time, we have ping to the firewall. So, pinging from here to here. All right? We got a reply. Now, I will ping to here. That's the second one. And I get a reply. This means that my routing works. If I can ping from here, and I can ping to there with a reply, my routing works. Now I'm going to ping the next one. This one. And it's not going to work. And why is that? The signal goes to here, but is this router capable of providing, delivering information to this network? If we go to router 1, 2, open command prompt and type route friend. What we see here is that this router doesn't know anything about network 172.18.0.0. It's not there. So the ping will come to this router, and this router will forward it to the outside because that's what it knows. That's what it knows. The rule is, if it's not here, it will be sent that way. So what we have to do is, we have to add a static route, correct? Static routes, new static routes, attached to LAN2. Again, the static route will be, for this router, on this adapter, pointing to this network going through this gateway. The static route will go through here to this network. LAN2, destination is always a network. Through gateway, the gateway should be the net ID of the gateway should be the same as LAN2 IP address. So this one and that one. This is a network card where we start. This is the gateway through which the signal will return. So this is a static route. Right away, we go to the server and try to ping again. And this time we have a success. So this ping succeeded. Going with another ping. This time we're pinging this side. Pinging through here tells us that this LAN router works. So this thing works. And now what we do is we'll ping from here to there. So pinging to here, my expectation is that it's not going to work. And why is that? For the same reason like before. If I go to NAT router, and print the routing table, again, I'll discover that the NAT router doesn't know how to reach subnet 172.18.0.0. All right? It doesn't know how to do it. So again, I'll go to static routes and create another static route. Same thing, LAN1. So the static route from here, again, we have to attach it to this network card. It has to reach to this destination, and it will travel through this gateway. Follow the lines. This is like a road. It cannot jump over. To reach to this destination, you have to go always through this gateway. So, attach to LAN1, destination. And the gateway will be 172.16.255.253. Net ID of the IP address of this network card and this net ID must be, and the gateway must be the same. No, 253. It's 253. You see, my default gateways are the last available IP addresses. My gateways are the one before 253s. There is a pattern here. It's easy to set up a network this way, rather than having huge lists of IP addresses. And we test, of course, we have to test. This time, I will have a connectivity. And from here, I have nothing else to test but to ping, let's say, an external IP address, and this means that this server is connected to the internet, connects to the DNS server simply because I have resolution. And this will be fixed in a moment. You already know that if you reset the adapter, this will disappear one way or another. That's not important at this point. So right away, going to add roles. Now, before I add a role, I notice here that this server does not belong to the namespace, and I have to add it to the namespace. Once you have domain information, name or Active Directory, you have to join servers if they have to now with Active Directory it's a little bit different though. If you need to install domain control, you don't have to do that, but in our case, I have to add this server to the namespace. And again, properties, change, more, and this is namespace. No choice, I have to restart. And I can bring DNS server, my DNS server here. By the way, if you're bothered with password expiration, then you can go to administrative tools, computer management. All right, if you get flagged for password expiration, you just go to the property of the local account and click password never expires, so you don't have a problem with that. All right. All right, server 2 is already added. It means that server 2 already restarted. But what we notice here is that we don't have a reverse lookup zone for our new subnet. And I'm going to start configuring zones in the next video presentation. This video becomes too long.